Ireland is an unusual country in many ways, not least because we've got not one but two official languages. English is obviously very widely spoken, but there is also our own native Irish language, Irish Gaelic. Now, the Irish language comes from Indo-Germanic roots. Therefore, it's related to Cornish, to Welsh, to Manx, to Breton, and to Scots Gaelic. Now, sometimes to distinguish our native language from the Scots Gaelic, the Irish language can be referred to as Erse. It will come as no surprise to anybody to know that Irish people have in fact been speaking through the Erse for many, many years. There is also, I contend, a third language in Ireland, and that is what I call the second Erse. Now, the second Erse is like every other language. It's got its rules, it's got its vocabulary, it's got its context, it's got its intonation, it's got its sounds and all of that. For example, speaking through the second Erse in Ireland, people can communicate meaning without even using a full word. For example, suppose you have the misfortune this evening that as you are moving your car, you happen to bump against another car, or you happen to scratch against a wall or whatever. Tomorrow morning, you go to your local mechanic and you show the damage, and his reaction is... So you say, how much am I looking at? Will it be ready Friday? So the more of his teeth that are visible and the deeper the breath, the more trouble you're in. Sometimes we can use the second Erse and just use one word which can convey as much as 1,000 sentences. Some of you may still be in that happy state of being single and being out and in the crowd. Others, like myself, may have to cast our minds back to that state. And you may remember on Friday nights when you are ready to go out and you're ready to have a good time. So you wander down and you go into the usual pub, but for some reason there's nobody there that you know. So you have a couple of drinks there. You go along to the next pub to see if there's anybody you know there. Nobody. So you have another couple of drinks. And so it goes. Eventually you end up going home, midnight, burger and chips. Back to your own lonesome bed. The next day you happen to bump into your friends and they say to you, were you out last night? And you say, oh, stop. Did you meet anybody? Stop. Was she good? Stop. So all you do is say one word. You just use one word. And by pure implication, the sad, sorry, single state that you're in remains your secret. Now, as you progress through life, obviously you get into more sophisticated social situations. For example, you may be at a dinner party and perhaps the subject of the trends in the world economy comes up. And somebody is saying, well, it's obviously crucial, whatever happens in the Chinese stock markets, whenever there's a variation, be it Keynesian or otherwise, that the ripple effect when moving on to other economies, and there's the trickle down or perhaps even the trickle up, then we'll find that monetary rather than fiscal policies will be the order of the day. And sure, you just sit there and you nod and you say, sure, isn't that always the way? It may be something more serious in terms of geopolitical problems, where people might point out that the conflicts that are dominating the world headlines, while intrinsically geopolitical, are probably more macroeconomic and potentially, in climatic terms, maybe even consequentially, might have further implications, not just for current but future policymakers that they will have to address in perhaps a global context. Again, you stand or sit and you nod. Sure, isn't that always the way? And so, my friends, language is an important tool of communication. But we are fortunate here in Ireland that we've got not one language, and we've got not two, we've got three. We've got our Irish, we've got our English, and we've got our second Erse. And just as the good Lord gave us a right hand for the giving and a left hand for the taking, use everything you've got. Never be afraid to speak through the Erse.